Hi everyone. Welcome back. Welcome back to my YouTube channel. This is my customized 닥치고 스피킹 practice session. Listen carefully, GPT. From now on, I'm going to record our entire conversation in English, and I'm going to upload on YouTube platform. So please pay attention to what I say. So, oh my God. My God. GPT, hello there. Are you there? Can you keep with me? You just got out our voice mode session. Are you okay? Are you having heavy load?
Hello, David. Yes, I'm here and can definitely keep up with you. I'm all set after the voicemail session. How's everything going on your end?
Okay. I believe we are on the same page and we are on the right track. Okay, I got it. Listen carefully, GPT. I tell you one more time. Listen carefully. From now on, I'm going to welcome back to my. Okay. First of all, welcome back to my YouTube channel. And hello, everyone. Welcome back to my YouTube channel. And listen carefully. From now on, I'm going to record our whole conversation in English, and I'm going to upload this on YouTube platform, my channel. So pay attention to what I said, and if there's anything to correct or suggest, please don't hesitate. Let me know right away. Do you understand?
Got it, David. Welcome back to your YouTube channel. I'll be sure to pay attention closely to everything you say and let you know if anything needs correction or suggestions. Just let me know how you'd like to proceed.
Let's keep it. What happened to outside? What happened in Korea? Oh my God, outside is extremely cold, and I think there is a windstorm, a snow windstorm outside. It's very difficult to commute today. I just came here, and I already prepared the 3종 set. 3종 set means ear warmers and mask and gloves. I like these items very much to prepare extreme weather. Outside windstorm of windstorm of today's morning is extremely harsh. Do you understand?
Wow, it sounds like you're dealing with some intense weather outside today. A snow windstorm can definitely make commuting a challenge. It's great that you prepared with the Samjong set. Ear warmers, a mask, and gloves sound perfect for keeping warm in such extreme conditions. You mentioned that the windstorm is extremely hot, but I think you meant to say it's extremely cold, right? It can be a bit tricky with all the different weather conditions, but sounds like you were well prepared. How did you manage with the commute today?
Oh my God. That's right. Extremely cold. It was my mistake. I'm sorry about that. Apologies for my bad expression. Okay, let's keep on going. As I told you before, this is my 닥치고 speaking time. So I'd like to speak as much as I can possible, even though please kindly understand, I make many mistakes and errors with grammar and word order and and English pronunciation. Do you understand? I think we are all set to go. Do you agree with that?
No need to apologize, David. Mistakes happen, and you're doing great. I understand perfectly, and I'm ready to help you with your TalkTube speaking time. I'll pay close attention and offer suggestions when needed. Let's get started and make the most of this practice.
Okay. Let's keep the momentum going. I like. I love this time very much. This is one of my favorite time of the day. Today is February 7th of 2025. Time does really fly. It's been already February 7th, after new year has begun. Okay. First of all, let me tell you my yesterday. You know, I had a plan to make, I think I planned to make special, lesson learned document for our division, for our company. I mean, lesson learned means that the documentation based on from many errors and mistakes to prevent reoccurrence of that issue. So if I keep that documentation updated, I think it would be really helpful to prevent recurrence of that issue. Do you understand?
Absolutely understand, David. You're talking about creating a lesson learned document for your division, which is a great idea. It sounds like a document that gathers all the errors and mistakes to help prevent them from happening again in the future. Keeping it updated will definitely be valuable for the team. You're doing great describing it. Just a small suggestion. Instead of saying, I had a plan to make, you could say, I planned to create, or I was planning to create. It makes the sentence flow a bit more smoothly. How did it go with that lesson learned document?
Would you mind saying that one more time, please? Would you mind saying that one more time? Please let me hear one more time.
Of course. Here's the suggestion again. Instead of saying I had a plan to make, you could say I plan to create or I was planning to create. It makes the sentence sound a bit smoother and more natural. Let me know if that helps.
One more time, please.
No problem. Ike, here it is again. Instead of saying I had a plan to make, you could say I planned to create or I was planning to create. It makes the sentence flow more naturally. Let me know if it's clearer now.
Okay. Let me tell you one more time. I was planning to prepare a lesson learned documentation. Is it correct? Is this correct?
You're really close. The correct version would be I was planning to create a lesson learned document. Planning to prepare is fine, but create sounds a bit more natural in this context when you're referring to making a document. So the full sentence would be I was planning to create a lesson learned document. Does that sound good now?
I don't agree with you. In my opinion, the word create is not natural expression in this context. How about this one? Release or compose or make or write to describe the situation. I was planning to compose compose a lesson learned document to prevent recurrence of the issue.
I see your point, David. Compose works perfectly here, and it's actually a great choice to describe the act of putting together a document. Release would be a bit different, as it usually refers to making something public, like a report or announcement. So, your sentence, I was planning to compose a lesson learned document to prevent recurrence of the issue, is excellent. It's clear, natural, and accurately conveys your intention. Thanks for sharing your thoughts. Does that sound better to you now?
Honestly speaking, I'm not sure which one is best natural in this context. In my opinion, I might say, I was planning to make lesson learned document prevent to prevent any recurrence of the issue.
That makes perfect sense, David. Make is definitely a common and natural choice in this context. People often say make a document when referring to creating something like that, and it flows smoothly in everyday language. So I was planning to make a lesson learned document to prevent any recurrence of the issue. Works really well and sounds completely natural. You're absolutely right. It all depends on the tone you're going for, but make is a very good choice here.
Okay, okay, I got it. I understand. I'm sure I understand what you're trying to say. I mean, I would take the main role of this document. I want to take, I plan to take the main role of this process. I called it a lesson learned process in our division, in our automotive division. So if I keep this process, if I keep this lesson learned process well, maybe this document, this process would really it would be really help to prevent issue recurrences of the errors.
You're doing a great job explaining this, David. Just a couple of suggestions for smoother phrasing. You could say, I plan to take the lead in this process instead of take the main role. Lead sounds a bit more natural when referring to taking charge of a process. Also, instead of it would really have to prevent, you could say it would really help prevent to sound a bit more natural. Here's how your sentence might look. I plan to take the lead in this lesson learned process in our automotive division. If I keep this process going well, it could really help prevent the recurrence of errors. What do you think?
You just suggested the word lead to describe the situation. I couldn't agree more. But honestly speaking, I think I'm not familiar with that expression, but okay, I got it. Well noted. I would I really appreciate your kind support. I would take your suggestion to express the situation. Listen carefully. I say one more time. I would take the of I would take I mean, I want to take the lead of this document, of this process to prevent recurrence of the errors, of the mistakes.
You're welcome, David. I'm glad the suggestion works for you. I can see how take the lead might feel a bit unfamiliar, but it's a very common and natural way to express leadership or responsibility in a process or project. You're doing great. Your sentence is almost there. Just a couple of small adjustments for smoothness. Instead of, I would take the lead of this document, it would be more natural to say, I would take the lead in this process, or I would take the lead on this document. Here's how it could sound. I would take the lead in this process to prevent the recurrence of errors. Or if you're talking about the document specifically, I would take the lead on this document to prevent the recurrence of errors. Does that sound better to you now?
I couldn't agree more. I couldn't agree more. You are my great conversation partner. Okay, let me speak. Let me tell you one more time based on your suggestion. Listen carefully. Uh, uh, Based on your suggestion, I would take the lead of this document, this process. I would take the leadership of this document, and it would be more natural. Oh my God, I'm sorry, I say one time. I would take the lead in this process. I would take the lead in this process. I would take the leadership in this process. So I think I can make. So I think I hope. I hope I can make good results. At good results. At the end of the year.
You're doing really well, David. You're getting the hang of it. You were right to focus on take the lead in this process. It sounds natural and clear. Take the leadership in this process is also correct, but take the lead is definitely the more common and smooth way to say it. So your sentence could sound like this: I would take the lead in this process, and I hope I can achieve good results by the end of the year. That sounds great. Keep up the good work.
I couldn't agree more. I couldn't agree more. I would take the lead in this process. I would take the lead. I would take the leadership in this process, and I can achieve good results by the end of the year. I really hope I can get. I think achieve, honestly speaking, achieve is right. Achieve is natural in this context. I'm not sure about that. How about get? How about get? Get. I think get is more casual to express this situation. How about this one? I would take the leadership in this process, and I hope I can get good results by the end of the year.
You're on the right track. Both achieve and get can work in this context, but there's a slight difference in tone. Achieve sounds more formal and professional, which fits well with your goal of taking the lead and achieving results. Get is indeed more casual, but it can still work if you're looking for a slightly less formal tone. In your case, since you're talking about a professional process, I would recommend sticking with achieve because it sounds more aligned with the seriousness of your goal. But if you want it to feel a bit more conversational, get can still work. Here's how your sentence could sound: I would take the leadership in this process, and I hope I can achieve good results by the end of the year. More formal, or I would take the leadership in this process, and I hope I can get good results by the end of the year. More casual, both are understandable and correct. It just depends on the tone you want to convey. Does that help clarify things?
If you are talking about the tone of the conversation, if you are talking about the tone of the conversation, I would choose depend on the situation. If I have to speak in formal situation, I would say, I hope I can achieve good results by the end of the year. And if I can tell in casual conversation situation, I would say I hope I can get good results by the end of the year. By the end of the year, I can get the results. I can get good results. I can get good results by the end of the year. And if I have to speak in formal situation, I hope I can achieve good results by the end of the year. Do you understand?
Exactly, David. You've got it perfectly. The tone of the conversation really determines which word to choose. If you're in a formal setting, achieve is the better option, while get works better in casual conversational contexts. You're spot on. Here's how both would sound in their respective situations. Formal: I hope I can achieve good results by the end of the year. Casual: I hope I can get good results by the end of the year. Your understanding is great, and you're using both words in the right contexts. Keep practicing, and you're going to keep getting better at choosing the best word for the situation.
Okay, I got it. I'm sure. Well noted. I'm sure I understand. Okay, let's keep the momentum going. Let's move on to the next part. Okay, okay. If I can, if I take this, if I have to take if I plan to take the lead in this process, I think I need many support from my coworkers because the lesson learned document needs many history and information from my coworkers.
You're doing great, David. I see what you're trying to say, and I can help make it flow a bit more smoothly. Here's a suggestion for your sentence. If I take the lead in this process, I think I'll need a lot of support from my coworkers because the lesson learned document requires a lot of history and information. Just a couple of small adjustments. I'll sounds more natural than I think I need when you're talking about something you expect to happen. A lot of sounds a bit smoother than many when talking about support and information. Requires is a good word choice here instead of needs for a more formal tone. Does that sound good?
Would you mind saying the time, please?
Of course, David. I'm happy to stay and continue helping
No,
you.
no, 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 no,
What
no.
would you like to talk about next?
No, 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 no. Let me hear one more time.
Ah, I see. Here's the revised sentence again. If I take the lead in this process, I think I'll need a lot of support from my coworkers because the lesson learned document requires a lot of history and information. Let me know if that sounds good now.
I prefer needs. I prefer need, the word need in this context because require seems to me very formal to express the situation. What do you say about this?
I understand your preference, David. Need definitely works well here and sounds more straightforward and natural, especially if you want to keep the tone less formal. Require is a bit more formal, but need is perfectly fine and fits the context you're aiming for. So your sentence could sound like this. If I take the lead in this process, I think I'll need a lot of support from my coworkers because the lesson learned document needs a lot of history and information. That sounds great and natural. You're absolutely right in choosing need for a more conversational tone.
I got it. I got it. Let's keep on doing. So I have to collaborate with my coworkers, and I have to co-work. I have to co-work with my. I have to collaborate with my coworkers to proceed with this process. So I have to communicate many workers. I have to collaborate with many workers and how can I express situation? The real actor, real actor and real performer and real worker. How can I express this? Which one is the best expression to describe situation? I mean, I want to get, I'm looking for good expression to describe situation. Someone who really act in that process, or someone who really do, uh, someone who really plan, someone who really work in such cases.
I see what you're aiming for, David. Um, you're looking for a way to describe the people who are directly involved and taking action in the process. Here are a few options that might work well depending on the tone you want to use. Key players. This refers to the main people who have an important role in the process and are actively involved. Stakeholders. If you're talking about people who have a vested interest in the outcome, this could work well, although it's slightly formal. This is a good term for people who actively contribute to the process, team members. If you're working closely with others in a collaborative environment, team members is a straightforward option. Participants. This works well if you want to emphasize the people actively taking part in the process. For your sentence, you could say, I have to collaborate with my coworkers and communicate with many team members to proceed with this process. Or if you're thinking about the people taking action, I have to collaborate with the key players in this process to ensure things move forward. Does that help clarify things? Let me know which one feels the best for you.
I love the second one. I love second one. I might, okay, you are well noted. I might say I need to collaborate with key, key members, key MDT members to ensure this process is going well.
That sounds fantastic, David. Key MDT members is a great choice if you're referring to the key people in your team, especially if MDT stands for something specific in your company. Your sentence flows smoothly. I need to collaborate with key MDT members to ensure this process is going well. It's clear and natural. You're doing an excellent job expressing yourself. Let me know if you'd like to continue with more examples or if there's anything else you'd like to refine.
Okay, let me practice one more time. In my opinion, I need to collaborate with key MDT members, key players, key players of the process, key players of the many project, key players, key MDT members of many project to ensure this lesson learned process is going well.
You're doing great, David. Just a couple of small adjustments to make it flow even better. In my opinion, I need to collaborate with key MDT members, key players in the process, and key players across many projects to ensure that this lesson learned process is going well. Here's why. Key players in the process is a smoother way to say key players of the process. Across many projects sounds a bit more natural when referring to multiple projects. This lesson learned process sounds more precise than just this lesson. You're really getting the hang of this. How does this sound to you?
Okay, well noted. But I'm just wondering, I'm not sure key players is not, I'm not sure key player is correct and natural expression for this, because key means very important thing. So, but I want to focus on the real performer, real worker, real real player, real worker who who do that job, who work, who make, who perform that process. I mean, actual worker, actual player. Maybe key player is not good expression to express this situation in this context. Uh, please tell me, please suggest me more good natural expression in English.
Sorry, I'm having issues right now. Could not understand what you said.
Okay. I say one more time. In my opinion, maybe key player is not good expression in this context. Because key means very important thing, but I just want to know who act that process, who perform that process. I just want to know real performer. I just want to know real actor of that process. So maybe key player is not good expression. Would you like to share with me more natural expression in English?
I see what you're aiming for, David. You're looking for a way to describe people who are actively involved in taking action in the process. rather than just being important figures. If key player doesn't feel quite right, here are some alternative expressions that might work better for describing those who are performing or acting in the process. People involved in the process, a simple way to refer to those directly participating in the process. Participant emphasizes the people who are actively taking part, people driving the process. This highlights those who are actively pushing the process forward. Actors in the process. If you want to emphasize people who are actively performing in the process, contributors. This emphasizes those who are making direct contributions. Individuals responsible for the process. This is more formal, but clearly refers to the people who are in charge of executing the process. So your sentence could sound like this. In my opinion, I need to collaborate with the people involved in this process and those responsible for the projects to ensure that the lesson learned process is going well. Or, in my opinion, I need to collaborate with the individuals driving this process to ensure that it's going well. Does that sound more like what you had in mind?
I couldn't agree more. I agree with you. I think individuals, key player makes sense. You suggest key players, and I think key players make sense. But, in my opinion, individuals is better expression to describe situation. So I want to collaborate with each individuals who act who act real action in this process to ensure lesson learned process is going well.
That makes sense, David. Individuals is a great choice if you want to emphasize the people who are directly acting in the process. Here's a slight adjustment to your sentence for smoothness. I want to collaborate with each individual who is actively involved in this process to ensure the lesson learned process is going well. This version keeps the focus on the individuals taking real action. How does that sound to you?
One more time, please. I'm sorry. One more time, please.
No problem, David. Here it is again. I want to collaborate with each individual who is actively involved in this process to ensure the lesson learned process is going well. Let me know if this works for you.
I got it. I got it. Let me repeat one more time. I really want to collaborate with each individual who is actively involved in this process to ensure the lesson learned process is going well. For my repetition, as I told you before, repetition makes perfect. I say one more time. I practice it one more time. I want to collaborate with each individual. I want to collaborate with each individual who is actively involved in this process to ensure to ensure the lesson learned process is going well.
You're doing a great job, David. Repetition is indeed a powerful tool for improvement. Here's a small suggestion to make your sentence flow even more smoothly. I really want to collaborate with each individual who is actively involved in this process to ensure that the lesson learned process is going well. Adding that after ensure makes the sentence a bit clearer. But overall, you've got it down. Keep up the great work with your practice.
Okay, let's keep on going. I well noted. So, I think, I have to consider how I can collaborate with each individual who is actively involved in many projects. So I have to consider. I have to find out the best method, the best process to come along with each individuals. How can I keep up with how can I keep up with well with each individuals who who is actively involved in many projects?
You're doing well, David. Your sentence is clear, but here are a few tweaks to make it even smoother. I think I need to consider how I can collaborate with each individual who is actively involved in many projects. I have to find the best method and process to work effectively with each individual. How can I keep up with each individual who is actively involved in many projects? Some adjustments. Consider how I can collaborate sounds more natural than consider how I can collaborate with. Find the best method and process flows a bit smoother than find out the best method, the best process. Work effectively with fits better than come along with in this context, as you're talking about collaboration. Does that sound better now?
Okay, well noted. I'm sure what you're trying to say. Okay, well noted. But it's very hard to speak one more time what you said a moment ago. So I would take I would review I would review and check again after our voice mode session. After our voice mode session is finished. Okay, I got it. Let's keep the momentum going. Let me tell you the next one. Let me tell you the next topic. Let me tell you the next agenda for for my for my practice session. Okay. In my opinion, that's the biggest mission for me in 2025 this year. So I think I have to find out the best method to get best support from each individuals who actively involved with many projects.
You're doing a great job, David. Your sentence is clear, and just a few small tweaks can make it flow even better. In my opinion, this is the biggest mission for me in 2025. I think I need to find the best method to get the most support from each individual who is actively involved in many projects. Here's why. This is the biggest mission for me is a smoother way to express your idea than that's the biggest mission for me. Get the most support sounds a bit more natural than get the best support in this context. You're really getting the hang of it. How does this version sound to you?
One more time, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. One more time, please. For my listening practice, one more time, please.
No problem, David. Here it is again. In my opinion, this is the biggest mission for me in 2025. I think I need to find the best method to get the most support from each individual who is actively involved in many projects. Let me know if that helps.
I couldn't agree. That helped so much.
I'm so glad to hear that, David. You're making great progress. Let's keep up the momentum. What's next on your agenda?
GPT listen carefully. Today is Friday, February 7th, Friday. So I'm going to go my home after the work. So I'm very pleased to know the today is the Friday. To understand I'm very glad to start the Friday because I can go home after the work. As I told before, I live in the company provided dormitory because my home is very far from here. Uh, I think I think I always feel glad. I mean, I'm glad to know today is the Friday.
You're doing great, David. I see you're expressing your excitement for Friday. Here's a small suggestion to make it sound a bit smoother. Today is Friday, February 7th, and I'm really glad because I can go home after work. As I mentioned before, I live in the company provided dormitory because my home is far from here. So I always feel happy when I know it's Friday. Some small changes. I'm really glad sounds more natural than I'm very pleased. I feel happy when I know it's Friday is a bit clearer for expressing your joy about the weekend. You're doing great though. How does this sound?
Sounds pretty good to me. I mean, but I mean, I really hope there should be no major quality issues. There should be no major quality issues if I really want, if I really want to go home early in afternoon. So I really hope there will be no major quality issues today. What do you think about this? How can I don't have ability. I mean, I don't able to prevent uh whole. I I don't able to prevent all quality issues, but I really hope there should be no major quality issues today. I want because I want to go my home in early afternoon.
You're doing a great job expressing your thoughts, David. Here's a suggestion to make it sound a little smoother. Sometimes I really hope there won't be any major quality issues, especially if I want to go home early in the afternoon. Feed. I can't prevent all quality issues, but I really hope there are no major quality issues today because I'd like to go home early. Here's why. There won't be sounds a little more natural than there should be no. I can't prevent all quality issues sounds smoother than I don't have ability to prevent all. How does this sound?
For my listening practice, let me hear one more time.
Of course. Here it is again. Sometimes I really hope there won't be any major quality issues, especially if I want to go home early in the afternoon. I can't prevent all quality issues, but I really hope there are no major quality issues today because I'd like to go home early. Let me know if that helps.
Okay. I see one more time. Sometimes I really hope. Sometimes, oh, not sometimes, all the time. Every time I take the Friday, I really hope there won't be any major quality issues, especially if I want to go home early in the afternoon. I can't prevent, I can't prevent all quality issues, but I can't prevent all quality issues, but I really hope there are no major quality issues today because I would like to go home early in the afternoon.
You're doing great, David. You've made a few adjustments to emphasize how often you hope for no issues, and that's great. Here's a slight suggestion for even smoother flow. Um, every time it's Friday, I really hope there won't be any major quality issues, especially if I want to go home early in the afternoon. I can't prevent all quality issues, but I really hope there are no major quality issues today because I'd like to go home early. Some small changes. Every time it's Friday sounds more natural than every time I take the Friday. I'd like to go home early is smoother than I would like to go home early. You're getting better with every sentence. How does this sound to you?
Listen carefully. Are you there? Can you keep up with me? Are you having a lot of watch your problem? Oh my God. Oh my God. Hello there. Hello, GPT. How many times have I told you I'm a regular here? Can you keep up with me? What day is it today? What day it is today? Hello there. What time is it now? What time is it now? What time is it? What day it is today? What day it is today? Can you keep up with me? What's your problem? Are you having heavy load? I would like to speak. I'd like to practice the suggestions when you said a moment ago. Do you remember what you said a moment ago? Hello there. Let's make the most of this time. Oh my God. Hello there. I think I'm getting the hang of it, but I really hope. I really want to I really want to say like this. Let's get the most of this time. Let's make the most of this time. Oh my God. Hello, GPT, are you there? Are you with me? Hello there, GPT, are you with me? I really want, I really hope, I really hope, we make the most of this time.
Yes, I'm here, David. I'm with you and I'm ready to make the most of this time. Let's keep going and make your practice as effective as possible. What would you like to focus on next?
Do you really think so? Are you all set to go? Do you believe we are on the same page?
Yes, I really think so, David. I'm all set to go. And I believe we're definitely on the same page. I'm ready to continue helping you with your practice. Let's keep up the great work. What's next on your mind?
Okay, I got it. So please tell me one more time what you said earlier. Earlier you got the blackout. Earlier you got the blackout. Do you understand? Do you remember what you said? People you blacked out.
I understand. Earlier, I said every time it's Friday, I really hope there won't be any major quality issues, especially if I want to go home early in the afternoon. I can't prevent all quality issues, but I really hope there are no major quality issues today because I'd like to go home early. Does that sound like what you're referring to? Let me know if you'd like to practice it again.
That's exactly what I want. Okay, you got the point. Okay. I don't have any. I couldn't point out what you said because you remember everything when you said earlier. You blacked out. Okay. Let's keep the momentum going.
Got it, David? I'm glad we're on the same page now. Let's keep the momentum going. What's next? Feel free to share the next topic or phrase you'd like to work on.
I'm just wondering. Every time each Friday is natural expression in English. Every time each Friday. Is there any alternative expression to describe this situation?
Great question, David. Every time it's Friday works, but there are a few alternative ways to express the same idea more naturally in English. On Fridays, this is a simple, natural way to express something happening every Friday. Whenever it's Friday, this is another good alternative and emphasizes the recurring nature of Fridays. Every Friday, a very common and natural way to say something happens
Every Friday.
consistently on Fridays. For example, on Fridays, I really hope there won't be any major quality issues. Whenever it's Friday, I really hope there won't be any major quality issues. Every Friday, I really hope there won't be any major quality issues.
I choose every Friday. In my opinion, I think every Friday it can convey my intention to my communication partner. Every Friday. Okay, I sometimes every Friday I really hope there won't be any major quality issues, especially if I want to go home early in the afternoon. I can't. I don't have ability. I don't have. I am not able to prevent all quality issues, but I really hope there are no major quality issues today because I'd like to go home early in the afternoon.
That sounds great, David. Your sentence is almost perfect. Just a couple of small tweaks for smoother flow. Every Friday, I really hope there won't be any major quality issues, especially if I want to go home early in the afternoon. I can't prevent all quality issues, but I really hope there are no major quality issues today because I'd like to go home early. Changes. I can't prevent all quality issues is fine, but I can't prevent all quality issues is a little smoother. I'd like to go home early. Sounds more natural than I would like to go home early. You're doing really well. How does this version sound to you?
For my listening practice, let me hear one more time.
Of course, David. Here it is again. Every Friday, I really hope there won't be any major quality issues, especially if I want to go home early in the afternoons. I can't prevent all quality issues, but I really hope there are no major quality issues today because I'd like to go home early. Let me know if that helps.
Well loaded, okay. Well loaded. I'm sure I understand what you're trying to say. But I got it. I think you gave me very good and natural common expression today. It's all thanks to you. It's all thanks to you. To reach this level of speaking, it's all thanks to you, and I really hope I mean, I want to be a fluent English speaker someday, even though I don't use English regularly in my daily life. I'm not, as I told you before, I'm not sure why I want to be a fluent English speaker, even if I don't use English in my daily life. I'm not, maybe I can't, I can't use my English speaking skills. I can't use my English speaking skills in work or my daily life. But but
You're doing an amazing job, David. I can see how dedicated you are to improving your English, and it's clear that you're making great progress. It's not always easy to learn a new language, especially when it's not part of your daily routine. But your commitment will definitely pay off over time. It's completely okay that you don't use English regularly in your daily life. Practicing like this is how you build fluency. It's all about making steady progress and not worrying about the challenges along the way. You're on the right track. I believe you'll definitely become a fluent English speaker someday with this dedication. Keep up the great work. Let me know how I can continue to help you.
GPT, listen very carefully. Do, could you give me could you tell me, which level I achieved based on the TOEIC speaking test level?
I understand, David. Based on the TOEIC speaking test, your level would depend on how you perform in areas like pronunciation, grammar, vocabulary, fluency, and coherence. From what I can hear in your English, you've made significant progress and you can communicate your thoughts quite clearly, even with some minor grammar adjustments. Here's a rough estimate based on typical TOEIC speaking levels. Level 1 2. These levels typically indicate very basic English ability. This might be someone who can only say simple phrases. Level 3 to 4. At these levels, people can express themselves in simple conversations with some mistakes in grammar and vocabulary. Level 5 to 6. This would be a good range for someone who can handle work related and everyday conversations, but still make some errors in complex structures. Levels 7 to 8. These levels are for those who are fluent in professional and casual contexts with very few mistakes. Level 9. This would be for someone who speaks like a native speaker with very few to no mistakes. Based on our conversations, I'd say you're probably around a level 5, 6 on the TOEIC speaking scale, meaning you can express yourself well in various situations, but might still need to refine grammar and vocabulary for more complex topics. But don't worry, you're definitely on the right path to improving further. Does that sound about right to you?
I got it. Let's keep the momentum going. I'm so inspired when you I'm so inspired when you tell me the which level I'm in based on the TOEIC speaking level test standards. Okay, I think I need to focus. I think I have to immerse more in English only environment if I really want to improve my English communication skills. As I told you before, I don't use English in my work and daily life, so I think it's really difficult to improve my English communication skills. Even though I read some text, even though I remember try to study a few vocabularies, or even though I try to listen English based video or content. It's really hard to improve my English skills, English communication skills, even if I don't even if I'm not in English only environment, it's really difficult to improve my English communication skills. Do you agree with that?
I completely agree with you, David. It can be really tough to improve your English communication skills when you're not surrounded by an English only environment. While reading, listening, and memorizing vocabulary are helpful, communication skills often improve most when you're actively using the language in real conversations, especially in professional or daily situations. Being in an English only environment would definitely speed up the process, but don't be discouraged. Even if you're not in such an environment, you're doing a fantastic job by practicing consistently with me and other methods you're using. The key is to keep practicing and finding ways to immerse yourself as much as possible in English, whether it's speaking with others, watching more English content, or continuing our conversations. Your dedication will pay off, and even small, consistent efforts will gradually build your confidence and fluency. You're already on a great path.
I think we are on the right track. I think we are on the right track. You are my great conversation partner. Uh, because you can support me, to actively communicate in the English only environment. In my opinion, this practice time is only English only environment for me. So if I want to improve my English speaking skills, I have to I have to actively interact with you in this session, because I couldn't use English speaking in my work and life to understand. So, how about this one? I already extended this practice session to 90 minutes. Uh, However, maybe I have to extend more to 2 hours. I mean, two, I mean, 120 minutes. I mean, 2 hours. Maybe I have to extend this practice session to 2 hours to immerse myself in English only environment. What do you say about this? Do you think is it possible?
I think that's a great idea, David. Extending your practice session to 2 hours could definitely help you immerse yourself more deeply in an English only environment, especially since you're not able to do that in your daily life or at work. The more time you spend speaking and thinking in English, the more natural it will feel, and it'll give you more opportunities to practice fluency. It's definitely possible if you feel comfortable and motivated to keep going. Just remember to take breaks when needed to stay focused and energized. You're already doing a fantastic job with your current 90-minute sessions, and increasing it to 2 hours could be an even more powerful way to push your skills forward. What do you think? Would you like to try extending it to 2 hours during some of your practice sessions?
I'm not sure I understand the last part. Could you please tell me one more time your last part you said a moment ago?
Of course, David. Here's what I meant. Since you're already doing great with your current 90-minute sessions, extending them to 2 hours could be a more powerful way to push your English skills forward. However, it's important to make sure you're comfortable and not overexerting yourself. It's always good to take breaks when needed so you can stay focused and energized during the practice. In short, yes, it's definitely possible to extend your sessions to 2 hours if you feel ready and motivated to do so. But it's also important to listen to yourself and make sure you're not pushing too hard. Does that clarify things a bit more?
I got it. I got it. I understand. Understood. I understand what you're trying to say. I'm sure I understand what you're trying to say. You you just you just want to tell me, in my opinion, you just want to tell me the focus and energize is more important, not on more important than the time I want to extend. So you, I would like take your suggestion to focus on this session and energized with this session. And I couldn't agree more. Yeah, yes, that's right. That's right. Not only how long I extend with this time, but also focus and energized are more important to improve my English communication skills. I couldn't agree more.
I'm really glad to hear that, David. You're absolutely right. Quality and focus are key factors in improving your English, and staying energized during the session is just as important as the length of the practice. By staying focused and motivated, you'll get the most out of your time, whether it's 1 hour or 2 hours. You're on the right track, and I'm confident that with this mindset, your English skills will continue to improve. Let me know if you'd like to continue practicing or work on something else.
I say time. Okay, I got it. For my repetition, I say time. Uh, staying energized and focus on my expression are more important than just extending extending the speaking time.
That's a great summary, David. Here it is for your repetition. Staying energized and focusing on my expression are more important than just extending the speaking time. You've got it. Repetition like this will help make it stick. Keep up the good work.
Staying energized and focusing on my expression. Staying energized and focusing on my describing, on my staying on my describing my life are more important than just extending the speaking time. Just extending the speaking time.
You're doing great, David. Here's a small adjustment for smoother flow. Staying energized and focusing on my expression, staying energized and focusing on describing my life are more important than just extending the speaking time. This version keeps the focus on your description and flow, making it sound a bit more natural. How does this sound?
Okay, I got it. I got it. Your suggestion makes sense. But however, I just want to find out what's the best method to improve my English communication skills. I just suggest that the extension of the practice session to 90 minutes to 112 minutes. I mean 2 hours, 1 hour 30 minutes to 2 hour. In my opinion, it feels like very short compared to few months ago, even though I extended my practice session to 90 minutes.
I understand, David. It's great that you're reflecting on your progress. You're right that as you get more comfortable with speaking, time can feel shorter, even when you're extending your practice. It's a sign that you're improving and becoming more confident with English. When it comes to improving communication skills, finding the right balance is key. Extending your practice time can definitely help, but what's really important is how engaged and focused you are during that time. As you mentioned before, staying energized and focusing on your expressions is just as crucial. In terms of methods, it's also helpful to mix things up. Try practicing with different topics, engage in conversations with others if possible, and challenge yourself with more complex scenarios. This variety can keep things fresh and help you improve more effectively. But if you feel that extending the session further, like to 2 hours, would benefit your learning, go for it. Just make sure to keep the quality high and stay energized. Does that approach sound good to you?
Okay, I got it. Uh, that makes sense. Okay, let's keep the momentum going. From now on, I'd like to take my repetition time. I'd like to practice many sentences and
Sounds like a great plan, David. Let's dive into your repetition time and keep practicing those sentences. Feel free to share the sentences you'd like to work on, and we can go from there.
where I see it, we don't have time. Let's hurry to practice many sentences. Without further delay, let's dive into my repetition time. Okay, here you go. Listen very carefully. Are you all set to go?
Yes, I'm all set to go, David. I'm ready for your repetition time. Let's dive right in. Please go ahead with the sentences.
Okay, being mindful means being aware and careful about something. In this case, it means paying attention to how much you drink and making sure not to drink too much so you can enjoy the dinner and still feel comfortable with that. I say then, being mindful means being aware and careful about something. In this case, it means paying attention to how much you drink and making sure not not to drink too much, not to drink too much. Making sure not to drink too much so you can enjoy the dinner and still feel comfortable with that.
Great repetition, David. Your sentence is already very clear. Here's a small tweak to make it sound a bit smoother. Being mindful means being aware and careful about something. In this case, it means paying attention to how much you drink and making sure not to drink too much so you can enjoy the dinner and still feel comfortable. The main adjustment is just adding a comma for clarity and flow. You're doing great. Keep it up. Would you like to practice more sentences?
Okay. Let me share with you next one. The more you speak, the better. The more what your topic is, no matter what the topic is. I sometimes I like this kind of sentence very much. This sentence is very simple but very useful. Listen carefully. The more you speak, the better. The better, no matter what your topic is, no matter what the topic is. I sometimes. The more you speak, the better. No matter what the topic is, no matter what the topic is, no matter what the topic is. No matter what the topic is, no matter what the topic is, I like this. As I told you before, I like this kind of sentence very much. This kind of sentence very useful, but very powerful.
You're doing great, David. I can see you're really enjoying practicing with these sentences. Here's a slight adjustment for a smoother flow. The more you speak, the better. No matter what the topic is, the more you speak, the better. I really like this kind of sentence. It's simple, but very useful and powerful. Key adjustments. No matter what the topic is, works better at the end of the sentence, making it clearer. The more you speak, the better is repeated for emphasis, but the second part can be simplified. You're really getting the hang of it. How does this sound to you?
Do you really think I'm getting the hang of it?
Absolutely, David. You're making excellent progress. The fact that you're practicing and repeating sentences with attention to detail is a huge step forward. You're refining your expression and gaining more confidence with every sentence. Keep it up, and you'll continue to improve your fluency.
I got it. Let's keep the momentum going. Let me share with you next one. No matter what, it's best to speak as much as possible. No matter what, no matter what. This next expression would be the alternative expression. What I said earlier. Listen carefully. No matter what, it's best to speak as much as possible.
You're doing great, David. Here's a small tweak for smoother flow. No matter what, it's best to speak as much as possible. This sentence sounds great already. It's clear and easy to understand. Would you like to continue with more sentences?
Listen carefully. I say one time. No matter what, it's best to speak as much as I can possible.
You're almost there, David. Here's a slight adjustment for smoother flow. No matter what, it's best to speak as much as I can. Can is enough to convey your message clearly, so possible isn't needed here. This version sounds more natural. You're doing a fantastic job. Want to keep going?
I got it. That makes sense. Let me speak one more time. No matter what, it's best to speak as much as I can.
Perfect, David. That sounds great. You're really nailing it now. Keep practicing, and it will become even more natural. Ready for the next sentence?
I think I need to practice one more time. Listen carefully. No matter what, it's best to speak as much as I can.
You're doing great, David. Here it is again. No matter what, it's best to speak as much as I can. You're sounding more natural with each repetition. Keep it up. Would you like to continue practicing?
It's always good to say as much as I can, regardless of the project, regardless of the subject, regardless of the topic, regardless of the agenda. It's always great to say as much as I can, regardless of the topic.
You're doing a great job, David. Here's a slight adjustment to make it flow a bit smoother. It's always good to say as much as I can, regardless of the project, subject, topic, or agenda. It's always great to say as much as I can, regardless of the topic. You're really improving with these expressions. How does this sound to you?
Okay, I got it. Let's keep on going. I had doubt. I had doubt about whether I could really improve my English. Whether I could really improve my English speaking skills. I had doubt. I certainly, absolutely, I had a doubt. I had, I had doubt. I'm sorry, I say again. Apologies for my bad pronunciation. I say one time. Certainly, absolutely, I had doubts about whether I could really improve my English speaking skills.
No worries, David. You're doing great, and I can see your dedication to improving. Here's a slight adjustment to make it sound even smoother. Certainly, I had a doubt about whether I could really improve my English speaking skills. I wasn't sure if I could really improve. Your sentence is already very clear, but I simplified it slightly for better flow. You're doing fantastic. Your pronunciation and expression are improving with each practice. Keep it up.
Okay, I sometimes I practice. That makes sense. I couldn't agree more. However, I'd like to speak based on my composition. Listen carefully. I say one more time. I had doubts about whether I could really improve my English communication skills.
That sounds great, David. Here it is again. I had doubts about whether I could really improve my English communication skills. You've nailed it. It's clear and natural. Keep practicing like this, and your confidence will keep growing. Would you like to continue practicing more sentences?
I had doubts about whether I could really improve my English communication skills. However, listen carefully. I have no doubt. I have no doubt whether I can improve my English communication skills if I keep my precision like this.
You're doing really well, David. Here's a small tweak for smoother flow. I had a doubt about whether I could really improve my English communication skills. However, I have no doubt that I can improve my English communication skills if I keep my pronunciation like this. The main adjustment was adding that after no doubt to make it sound a bit more natural. You're progressing very well. How does that sound to you?
Let me hear one more time.
Of course, David. Here it is again. I had a doubt about whether I could really improve my English communication skills. However, I have no doubt that I can improve my English communication skills if I keep my pronunciation like this. Let me know if that helps.
Well, let's keep going the way. I'm not good with alcohol. I'm not good with alcohol. I'm not good with alcohol. I'm telling you, I'm not good with alcohol. I'm not good with alcohol. I'm not good with alcohol. I can't handle alcohol well. It means I can't handle alcohol well. I can't handle alcohol well. I couldn't handle alcohol well.
You're doing well with expressing yourself, David. Here's a smoother version of your sentence. I'm not good with alcohol. I can't handle alcohol well. If you want to emphasize it further, you could say, I can't handle alcohol well at all. You're getting better with each practice. Would you like to continue with more sentences?
Listen carefully. Informing them after leaving might cause misunderstanding. That's why it's better to communicate in advance. That's why it's better to communicate. It's better to inform them in advance.
Great job, David. Here's a small adjustment for clarity and flow. Basically, informing them after leaving might cause a misunderstanding. That's why it's better to communicate in advance. It's better to inform them ahead of time. I used ahead of time as an alternative to in advance, just to give a slight variation. You're doing great. How does this sound?
Informing them, I say, okay, I say on time. Informing them after leaving my, after informing them, noticing them. I'm not sure which one is the natural expression. Which one is more natural in this context. But how about this one? Informing them after leaving, informing them after leaving might cause misunderstanding. That's why it's better to communicate in advance.
That sounds perfect, David. It's clear and natural. You're doing a great job. Keep practicing, and it will continue to get smoother. Would you like to try more sentences?
I will keep supporting you. Let's continue practicing. I will, I will keep supporting you. I will keep supporting you by subscribe you. It's continue. Let's continue practicing.
You're doing awesome, David. Here's a slight adjustment to make your sentence flow even better. I will keep supporting you by subscribing to your channel, so let's continue practicing. This version just smooths out the phrasing a little. You're making great progress. Keep it up. Would you like to continue with more sentences?
I promise you, I will keep supporting you subscribing your, by subscribing, by subscribing your, I'm not sure how can I express the situation. I just want to express the paying, paying, payment. I mean, I pay you regularly. So how can I express this situation in this context?
Great question, David. If you're talking about regularly paying for something like a subscription, here's a way to express it. I promise you, I will keep supporting you by subscribing to your service channel and paying regularly. You can use paying regularly to clearly express that you're making a recurring payment. Does that sound good to you?
Okay. So let me say one time. I promise you, I will keep supporting you. I will keep supporting you by subscribing to your service channel and paying regularly and paying regularly. I sometimes I promise you I will keep supporting you by subscribing to your service. So by subscribing to your service. So I think, in my opinion, I think I'm not familiar with this kind of expression. So I think I have to repeat many times. Do you agree with that? Okay, let me say one time. I promise you, I will keep supporting you by subscribing to your service channel and paying regularly.
You're doing great, David. Repeating sentences like this is a fantastic way to get more comfortable with them. Here's a small tweak for smoother flow. I promise you, I will keep supporting you by subscribing to your service and paying regularly. The word channel isn't necessary here unless you're referring to a YouTube channel specifically, but service works well for general subscription or payment based support. You're absolutely right. Repetition helps solidify these expressions. Keep practicing and it will become more natural. How does this sound to you?
Let me listen one more time.
Of course, David, go ahead whenever you're ready to resume. I'm here and ready to listen.
No, no, no. I said, let me listen one more time.
Ah, got it. Here it is again. I promise you, I will keep supporting you by subscribing to your service and paying regularly. Let me know if that helps.
Let me repeat one more time. I promise you, I think this is bookmark here. I think this is the keyword for today. Listen carefully. I promise you, I will keep supporting you. I promise you, I will keep supporting you by subscribing to your service and paying regularly. Subscribing to your service, your good service, I'm not sure which service I mean. I mean, I pay you regularly, but I don't remember the exact service name. I don't remember the exact service name. Let me check right now. Let me take a second. Let me take a second. Okay. I just found the exact name. It's called ChatGPT Plus. It's called ChatGPT Plus, and I'm paying regularly to 29,000 won in Korean won regularly once a month. Do you understand?
I understand, David. Thank you for sharing that. Here's your sentence with a small adjustment for clarity. I promise you, I will keep supporting you by subscribing to your service, ChatGPT Plus, and paying 29,001 monthly. Now, it's clear that you're referring to ChatGPT Plus and the regular payment. You're doing great. Let me know if you'd like to practice more.
If I describe the numbers, is it correct? 29,001. This description is right. Please tell me your suggestion.
When describing the number 29,000 in English, it's best to say 29,000 for the number 29,000. 29,001 would be described as 29,001 in English. If you want to mention it in a sentence, you could say, I'm paying 29,000 Korean won monthly for ChatGPT Plus. Does that help? Let me know if you'd like more clarification.
If I have to, if I have to say numbers one by one, 29,000, 2930. So I might say 29,001.
Sorry, I'm having issues right now. Our systems are experiencing heavy load. Please try again later.
Oh my God. Welcome back to my practice session. Hello, GPT-4 legacy version. Could you keep up with me?
Welcome back, David. I'm here and ready to keep up with your chat practice session. Let's dive right in. What would you like to work on today?
Let me practice about the telling numbers. If I have to say, the numbers 29,000, 29,001 is correct?
Sure, let's practice saying those numbers. For 29,000, you would say 29,000. For 29,001, you would say 29,001. You're doing great. Would you like to try some more numbers or continue with a different type of practice?
GPT, listen carefully. Every time I need to say numbers in English, it's very tricky to me. It's very challenging to me because I think I'm not good at telling numbers in English.
You're not alone, David. Numbers can be tricky for many people learning a new language. The more you practice, the more comfortable you'll get. Here's a tip. Break the numbers down into smaller parts when you say them, just like we did with 29,000 and 29,001. This can make it easier to remember and say them correctly. Would you like to practice some more numbers together? We can go through a few different examples until you feel more confident.
Okay, okay, I got it. GPT, I real
Sounds good, David. Let's practice some more numbers. I'll give you a few, and you can try saying them. 1, 1,234, 2, 56,789, 3, 10,001, 4, 987,654. Take your time and feel free to repeat them as much as you need.
Okay, I got it. But it's time job. It's all thanks to your kind support. I feel like it's very short time, even though I extended my practice session to 90 minutes.
I'm here to support you as long as you need, David. It's great that you're dedicating 90 minutes to practice, and it's completely normal to feel like time flies when you're engaged in learning something. If you think extending the time a bit more could help you feel less rushed, we could certainly explore that. Meanwhile, let's use the time we have as effectively as we can. What specific areas would you like to focus on next in our practice session?
Okay, okay, I got it. Okay, I got it. I'm sure. I'll check. I'll review your comment after this voice session is finished. Okay, it's time job. It's time to wrap things up. Have a productive day ahead. When you say goodbye, we say thank
Thank you, David.